Beckman Unleashed podcast number 39.
We are live.
Number 39, I don't have a number for. I believe there might have been a guy named Carnell Gardner who is a Giants running back, fullback. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Someone can fact check me on that. We started this on Jesus's birthday.
It's true.
And now we're on some random dude for the Giants running back.
Willie Parker, 39.
Okay. No idea who that is.
Perfect. Even better.
All right. So here's what we're going to do.
Go ahead.
We're going to... Eric had a topic. He called me the other day and he goes, okay, let's have a topic of killer dogs. And I said, and he goes, we're going to have a guest on. And we're going to have a guest who is one of the best dog trainers in the country. He will be chiming in and videoing in about 5 to 10 minutes. And we're very excited because this guy's awesome.
He knows his stuff.
And you said, we're going to do killer dogs. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And then you explained it. And then I was like, okay, I still don't totally know what that means. But then you explained it again. And we're going to let you kind of drive the train of questions for killer dogs.
Okay. So you know what a dog is, right?
Yes.
Do you know what a killer is?
Yes.
Do you know what a killer dog is?
Okay. So dogs that kill people. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I've never worked with a dog that killed a person.
I mean, hopefully your dogs that you train don't kill somebody.
All right. So we're going to talk about how to train your dogs not to kill people. That's fine.
Yeah. So no, but we want to get into the dog psychology. So I'm thinking of it a few different ways. You've got what are the breeds that can kill dogs or that can kill people?
Yep.
Right.
All right. That's a good question.
What are the type of owners? What are the things that they all have in common that lead to this type of stuff?
I like it.
We could probably go off on that one for a while.
Yeah.
What could a trainer do to stop this type of stuff?
Okay.
And then also like the mental twists of like,
and maybe mental illness.
Yeah. Like what is it about? Like, cause obviously a Chihuahua, it could have that twist, but if it's not big enough and strong enough, it's going to have a tough time killing.
Or many dogs are not simply big enough or tough enough.
Yeah. Unless it's depending on age, right?
Yeah. Except that I heard true story. I think like 5 wiener dogs killed somebody.
Jeez. That'd be
horrible,
to see, right?
Horrible way to go.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. And then, I think, just since this is a training channel and we do talk about dog training occasionally, I would say it'd be cool to, just to learn, like, how do you not become one of these people that is, you hear about on the news whose dog either attacks somebody or is a victim of, you've heard press scenarios, different types, right?
And if you don't want your dog to kill you, or you don't want your dog to kill someone else, or you want to train dogs not to kill other human beings, you can sign up for Beckman's coaching program. We'll put the email address in the description. Email us.
At Gmail.
We've had tons of emails, and I've gotten a lot of questions. One, to answer that, it's for anyone all over the world because it's 99% online. We might do an annual come out to my facility for the people. We haven't decided that yet, but it's not going to be much in person. We're building it. It's almost built, and we are ready to go live here in a couple months.
Yeah. What we learned is after we dropped our first mention of it, we didn't know how many people were going to respond. And then we realized like the WebEx thing wasn't going to be sufficient to track everything and to
what's WebEx?
WebEx, so like Google Meet. Teams. It's like what's Zoom, right? Zoom is a popular.
Yeah, that's not sufficient. No.
So like it was just going to be too difficult. So we wanted to get all the stuff all on like a software program where people could go. And so, but there still has to be some type of live element to it.
It's going to be like the basics to the complicated for everybody. But it's mainly for dog trainers or if people want to be dog trainers. If you're a dog owner, like we'll
roll one out later.
We'll have that later. Yeah. This is for people who want to be the best dog trainers in the country.
Okay, so let's get back to killing people, bro.
Okay. Well,
I mean, not us.
Where's our guy? Where's our special guest?
Oh, that guy?
I can start talking before he gets here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
do you know anything about this? Like, you've read stories about it, right?
I've read stories. I've seen videos. Okay. We've talked about this before on the pod, but we're going to talk about more in depth and with somebody else who has worked with a lot of big, strong dogs. So you need 2 things for a dog to kill a human. Dogs killing children is a different story a bit, but to kill like a big person, a lot of kids and old people get killed by dogs. grown middle-aged people, it's relatively rare, but it happens. Just happened in Detroit or in Michigan. I just read an article 2 nights ago. Somebody's dog or dogs killed a guy. They damaged his arm so bad his arm had to be amputated. Then the guy died. Horrible story, bro. And my guess is if your dog kills somebody, you kind of knew your dog could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like it seems really hard to believe that you're just like, what? I had no clue my dog was capable of attacking another person, or my 2 dogs. Last time is 2 dogs.
Shows fatalities in 2024. The first one, January 31st, an 85-year-old male victim. Guess what type of dog it was?
Oh, no idea. What type of dog could it possibly have been?
Indianapolis,
Pitbull.
Indianapolis, Indiana. The man was attacked by 2 loose dogs. Oh, that's so horrible. Which came in his backyard. He suffered multiple bites on his arms and legs and died later in the hospital. 85. How bad would you feel if your dog got out? And see, that's why I
wouldn't feel bad, because it would never I could do 100 lifetimes and my dog wouldn't be capable of doing that. So it would never happen. But I would feel bad. It's hard to imagine feeling bad for something that could never freaking happen.
So Bosco would never have killed someone.
Yeah, can you imagine? Pitbull. Here's another one. Pitbull. Rottweiler.
Now, Rottweiler's not totally surprising, is it?
No, it's always this number 2nd dog. Size, numbers, and some no nonsense attitude. But the numbers, like if you were to say, well, Borbals, would kill people the same way as Rottweilers. Yeah, except there's 100 times more Rottweilers in this country than there are Borbals.
Yeah. That's kind of not
a lot
fair.
of Rottweilers. Dobermans, they're all pretty much not big enough.
Look at the 3rd one or the 4th one.
Pitbull. Who
would
have believed it? Let's see. Let's scroll down.
Staffordshire Terrier, also known as a Pitbull.
Oh, Pit Mix.
Pitbull Mix. This is
American Staffordshire Terrier.
I could show this to the audience.
Crazy, dude. Where are the golden doodles on here?
Let's see if it'll show. Oh, see, this is what we run into.
Don't worry. I'll keep reading as you're trying to get it live.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although you got to scroll it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's so far a bunch of pit bulls. This is fatalities in 2003. We're now in 2003. So why pit bulls? I was thinking about this the other day. So if you think about all the breeds and what they're for, okay, this is really the crux of the deal. Okay, all the breeds and what they're for. You've got let's think of big breeds, right? Big, strong breeds. You've got a Cane Corso. Cane Corsos are human protection.
Yeah.
Okay. They all have this element of protection. Protection is antithetical to like mauling somebody to death. Like protection is like, get the stimulus, get the trigger, get the threat out of here. It really doesn't make sense to kill them. If you go even gnarlier and you get to a Dogo Argentino, then you get into a little more of that prey drive, go, grab, shake, but it tends to be associated with other dogs or threats or big cats or pumas, right? And it's a little different with people. Then you get to Borbals. There's just not enough of them, plus their protection. You get to Tibetan Mastiffs. There's a dominance aspect, a size aspect that they want to pin and hold down. You get to pit bulls. There's this high percentage that are bred to just switch their brain and go half-cocked until the thing they're attacking stops moving. Grab, shake until the thing they're attacking stops moving. And you could say, well, any terrier is bred to do that. Yeah, but what's a Jack Russell going to do? And then they have the big terriers like Airedales. Yeah, but they didn't really put that dog fighting thing in the Airedales. They put the grab and shake till the thing stops moving, but they never really transferred it to dogs. Or so then these pit bulls, they kind of they know they have it in them, and then they just transfer it to people, and then people die. These are the numbers here,
especially when you see like the ages, like high ages,
2-year-old,
low ages, 2-year-old, 7-year-old,
81-year-old.
So I mean,
they're all pit bulls.
The stakes are pretty high, right? Like, especially for you as somebody who trains these dogs, you see people come in with Cane Corsos, Dogo Argentinos, pit bulls, right?
Yeah.
And then you see the owners, and those owners often lack leadership, confidence, strength.
That's the thing. That's it. You asked, the second question you asked was why, what's lacking in the training or the ownership? It's freaking no nonsenseness. That's where, and these positive reinforcement folks, everything's about like, don't be like mean to your dog. Dominance isn't a thing. Like all this stuff, positive reinforcement. You want to get rid of dogs killing people? You're no nonsense with your dogs. That's not why dogs kill people. Is like, I'm the boss. I'm a good leader. I exercise my dog. I train my dog. And what I say goes. When you don't say, when what you say doesn't go, and there's an aspect of leaving in their backyard, right? This one was a man and his wife were killed, seriously injured after 3 dogs escaped from a neighboring yard through a hole in the fence. So it's the irresponsible ownership too of just letting the dogs in the yard all day. And
sorry, I got distracted. I saw our
there's
friend,
Garrett,
and so I'm gonna try to patch him in.
Oh,
you
just busted him in.
I just bust him in.
There he is.
Mike, yo! What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hot. I like it.
I like the American flag in the background.
Yes, sir.
Is that legal?
Not in Commie, California, but baby, yeah. Anything outside of that, yeah.
Can you see our screen we're sharing or no?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't even on my end.
I don't even want to get into it right now.
He's not going to believe it though, but we just
Garrett
kind of went
very
through
surprised,
and we just said, hey, like, what are the fatalities in dogs? And we couldn't believe it. It said pit bull, and then it said pit bull, Rottweiler, pit bull, Staffordshire, pit bull mix, American Staffordshire. Are you shocked? Are you shocked by this?
Yeah, must be an error. I don't know who entered that information.
Must be.
It was all golden doodles. Not to say golden
but
doodles.
But be very careful. You can't joke around. The pit bull community will come after you with a vengeance.
Yes, so they have.
I have to have a disclaimer. I actually love pit bulls. I really do love pit bulls. But yes, they can absolutely kill people.
They're all pit bulls. There's a Cane Corso right there.
Oh, there's Garrett's dog, dude.
Oh, that's terrible. Look at that.
Oh, another one.
Not my dog.
I know. Oh no, not your dog.
Yeah, not his dog.
But first, I want to ask him: is that your new studio for your podcast?
This is part of our room, but the studio is actually just yonder. It's a part studio, part my office here.
Oh, look, and he's got the gold YouTube thing. My kids want me to get that so bad.
Dude. You're right there, baby. Let's go.
Nah, not really.
Now, when we get you on our podcast, we're going to boost those numbers, so you can have a gold one there too.
So I am getting on that podcast.
Has it launched yet, or you just recorded it?
We just recorded our very first one in our brand new studio. Killer video, or excuse me, podcast. Really focusing in on the Cane Corso and what we're calling the Cane Corso crisis. And not to make it dramatic and all that, but that the shelters are absolutely overflowing with Corsos.
Really?
Because it's too much dog for most people to handle. And
it's because the leadership of these dog owners is so great, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So why you mentioned it here when you were here of this, but I'm forgetting right now. What's the why are there so many right now? It's not you and Jason Corey. Like, is there a reason?
Man, I don't know. I think it's a great question. I think it's the political climate. And what I mean by that is, and it's all jokes aside, but like, look what's happening. And so everyone and their mom is reaching out because protection dog. Can I get a protection dog? And so they don't want the golden retriever anymore. They want a dog that can handle business. And I'm talking everything from multi-million CEOs of huge companies were getting reached out to us. Garrett, I need a protection dog and I need it now. And then everything down to folks of all walks of life from all different parts of the country. And they feel the need for a quote protection dog. So I think that's part of it.
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have the conundrum of like, I constantly tell people and I think we talked about it last time. I own the breed. I love the breed, but then I tell everybody you shouldn't get one. But then now I was just literally thinking about it just a couple of weeks ago. It's fresh on my mind. I'm like, man, I don't know. The way things are going right now, maybe you do need a Corso in your backyard.
When you did that short, I think it was like at Chipotle or something where you sat your Cane Corso down. 50,000 people adopted a Corso when they saw that.
No. Well, let me say that I think that's part of it too, because I think the Corso is kind of riding on the coattails, or just as far as timeline goes. What's one more breed that in the last 5 to 7, 8 years.
Yeah, we know.
Been very popular.
Well, I would say Malinois, but I would say it's even 10 to 15 years.
Boom.
But yeah.
Yes. But yeah, whatever the time frame is. But exactly now, why the Malinois?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has to do with protection as much as I think what people see is they see these Malinois performing to a really high level. And I swear, I think they think that these dogs come out of the womb like that, not realizing, no, that's thousands upon thousands. That's years of work to get them there. And then I have Thanos, who is an exception. I don't say, oh, it's all because I trained him. I think he's a unicorn dog. And I just happened to get lucky and I trained him, and not for nothing, I'm a halfway decent trainer. And you combine those two things, we got Thanos. Now, having said that, I say this all the time too, boy, Thanos is a wild animal. That boy he is feral. I just keep the brakes on him. But one of my dogs is in heat, Xena. This boy is losing his mind. I feel bad for him. And the other thing I say too is just something to think about. Oh yeah, Thanos is trained to such and such a level. He's a great dog. If I give him to someone who doesn't know how to operate that vehicle, he's going to become wild and feral and mischievous in about, I say a month. It could be as little as 48 to 72 hours before he goes like, he is not stupid. He'll look at you and he's like, you're nothing. You don't know how to lead. And it's not just him. A lot of dogs are like that, but you got to know how to drive the thing. You got to know how to manage and be a leader and all of that. And if you don't, who knows what you're going to get.
Yeah. Just so you know, and I think I said this to you last time here, and I won't say the same stuff, but like, I don't think, maybe I would. I don't think I would feel bad if Dobermans got popular like your breed or your breeds have. And I just don't think I'd feel responsible. Like, it's not my problem. Like, it's not my fault. Like, I have a Doberman that people know, okay, you all got him partly based on me, which I'm not saying is happening even with the Corsos, but like, it's not like, where does personal responsibility lies? Like, okay, you have a popular breed and you put it on YouTube and you have multi-million people. It doesn't matter that you did it, that you were involved.
Personal.
Yeah. I don't,
yeah.
I don't know. Have no idea. I don't know. Have any idea why I've contributed to it or not. I really don't. I think even if I didn't exist as a channel,
right.
There'd still be tons of Corsos out there. Tons.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And maybe you have, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Yeah, I think.
But you know what matters to me right now? What? I look pasty zombie white, and you guys look tan. This is unacceptable. Yeah, I mean, it's been raining here a lot, but Lord have mercy, I got to adjust my lighting here because
it is all lighting. It is all lighting because
first let me say you transitioned me perfectly to okay, you saw me comment on your pool how to train a dog.
Can you adjust the lights? I look like a zombie.
Oh, no. He has like people that come in. He goes,
he's so smart. I have nobody, bro. I have nobody. You work for me kind of, but you won't do that. If I told you to adjust the lights, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's a better leader than me. Okay. So here, you remember the pool video, your pool video, training the dog to swim.
The little puppy. Recent.
Yeah, recent.
Okay.
I commented, bro, I'm going to give you props two ways. One is I watched that video and I was like, he trains the dogs exactly like I train a dog in the pool. Every little thing was almost the same. And I was like, that's awesome. Because neither of us saw a video on how to train a dog to go in a pool. We just happen to have a pool. It ain't rocket science. We did the same way. And I was like, that's awesome. I just like when I see that. Two, I'm going to give you props, bro, for just busting the shirt off. Just you listen. And I'm seriously giving you props for not giving an F, because that's how you should be. That's how I should be. You had a tan line. You were like, F it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And that's the way it should be done. You shouldn't care.
Well, thank you.
And it wasn't even bad. I'm just saying you shouldn't care.
Well, if he's so white, why would he have a tan line though? That doesn't make sense.
I mean, it was a normal tan line. It was a normal tan line. What are you talking about?
Like, when you took his shirt off, were you pausing it?
It was. I think his shirt was up the whole time.
How much did you watch it? Like, were you putting HD, making sure the settings were right? You could zoom in.
It was like probably 40, 50 loops of it, just over and over.
Kept watching it. No, I was just like,
my guy's right here. Spider.
I was like,
you're in charge of this paleness. Spider. That's his nickname. His
wow.
He's my videographer.
Is he in Goodfellas?
That's a good name. It's a good name.
No, but let's see how that lighting goes. I think that's already better.
I think it is better.
All right.
Yeah. Can you go?
But anyways, thank you for the props. Thank you for the props. There we
Yeah.
go. I look a little less pasty, I think.
I like all. I watch all.
Maybe I just should get a tan.
That would be good. I mean, for all of us. Okay. So we were talking about killer dogs. Killer. So Eric brought this up. He said you're going to be on, and he said I want to talk about killer dogs. And I was like, okay, I don't totally know what that means.
You're talking about killer dad bods? That's what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, killer dad bods.
Hey.
Dad bods are a thing.
Hold
on. I was always tripped out because I've been seeing these videos on how women like dad bods, and I was like, it makes no sense to me, but it's a real thing. Like,
I guess, man.
Married men, like, they like it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's what they say. That's what women say. They like dad bods.
And then they like Brad Pitt. So I don't know.
Yeah, they like Brad Pitt too.
Hey.
So it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't think these women know what they want. We're all married. We don't give a shit. But, you know, it's good to know what the wives like. See,
well, I've been hitting the gym every morning. So when I do pool part 2, you know, we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'll rip my shirt off.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. That'd be
and show you how to train dogs in the pool.
Yeah. All right.
But let's get into it. Let's talk about these killer dogs.
Yeah, let's talk about dog training on this podcast, of which we don't always do.
Ideas, right?
Okay, go ahead. Tell them.
And I mentioned
we can't keep them all day.
It is, first one would be, what are the breeds most likely to inflict bodily harm, especially death?
We've seen that.
You've got, who are the culprits from a ownership perspective, the people that lack the leadership and these other type of aspects, that is, they're most likely to have the next one that does this. The third piece was, how do we train these dogs to fix it, or to prevent these type of things from happening, maybe even identifying it? And then I guess in the identification piece was kind of the fourth part, which is the mental twist, which is like, what are you seeing in these dogs in general? And it's not for the killer dogs, but all dogs, that you're seeing that there's like some, like seeing red, as you call it, or there's something going on. It's not just obviously the shaking is probably part of it, but those are kind of the 4 things. So I think we should just kick it off with like the breeds. I know we were joking as we were looking through here. It's looking like painting a decent picture of the breeds, but what do you guys think for the breeds?
I'm going to start. I started before Garrett came on, but I'm just going to say it real quick to then kick it off to Garrett. He can disagree with me. He can agree with me, whatever he wants to do. So the dogs to do it, it's pretty obvious. The breed, there's a numbers game to this, right? Borbles maybe would be in there. There just ain't too many of them. Mastiffs maybe be on there. There just ain't too many of them. The Rottweilers and Pit Bulls are on there high. Rottweilers, there's a damn lot of them, and they're a pretty damn big dog. Okay. I don't know if they're any more aggressive than any other breed, than any big, strong guarding dog, but there's a lot of them. And I think that's why they're on there. Pits, they just have a mechanism. I would say, Garrett, that like 10% of the pits that I get, now they're coming to me for a problem, right? They see Prince or they see a dog, and they are just like, they're not like the Cane Corsos that are like, or many breeds are like, get away from me, Prince, or get away from me, dog, or whatever. They're like, they go and they go hard. They have a terrier. They have terrier in them. That terrier is meant to grab, shake till something stops moving. That's why terriers are the group that they are. They put the terrier in there for that reason. And so they just have this little higher percentage. That's why they're on this list. Plus, it's a numbers game. There's a ton of them. Your second point, what are the owners? The owners, a lot of these, and we were reading through them, are dogs were left in the backyard. They got out, they killed somebody, right? It's irresponsible ownership. I think that's goes without saying.
Don't get too far ahead.
Then the last one is, how do they fix this? When you run your house, when you train your dog, when you exercise your dog, and then you go, no, give me that thing, or go to your bed, and the dog goes, no. You go, no? What do you mean, no? Like, I'm not asking. Like, don't ask if you don't want to follow through. And then these dogs sort of go like, okay, this guy's the boss of the house. They generally don't go kill somebody when boss of the house is around. Not to say the boss of the house is around a lot of these. So I do not believe that sort of dominance or being the leader of your house contributes to dogs killing people. I think it would minimize dogs killing people. Did I hit your 4 points very quickly, because we have a guest who I want to get to? I kind of hit your 4 points, right? In my very short thing.
It was okay.
What was the fourth one, though? Did you hit the fourth one? You missed the fourth one.
Yeah, the mental twist.
There's mental illness. I did a video on it 3 years ago. There are dogs like that. You reviewed, Garrett, that pit bull with the lady in the bed. That's, I mean, that in my opinion is that dog's somewhere else. I don't think he hates that lady. That dog, I've seen dogs. I stepped over this dog once, like 6 months ago. She's like, this dog turns on me. And I was like, a dog came out. He was like kind of a normal dog. Then I simply like walked and barely stepped over on him. His eyes changed like a big cat. And he went somewhere else. And he attacked me as hard as anyone can. Then we got to the car. She put him in the car. He was freaking out at the window. It was like a spaniel-ish dog. It could be that spaniel rage thing. But they just change. It's a mental freaking problem that some dogs have. And then there's other things. But I don't want to talk the whole time while we have a guest. So Garrett,
what did he get wrong? What did he get wrong?
I think he hit the nail on the head. So help walk me through it. What's number one is breeds, right?
Breeds. Let's talk. Yeah. What are the breeds that are most likely to do it? Now we're already kind of cheating because we saw some of them, but
say whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think I'll kind of maybe have the counter argument. You really nailed it. But pit bulls, 100%, because there's just so many of them. But I think there's also the idea that, well, if it looks like a pit and it kind of acts like it's a pit, and it's like, no, that's probably more like a boxer mix or who knows what. Even on there, we saw pit mix. Yeah. But I think they just put this big umbrella over what could be who knows what's really in that dog. And so they just chalk it up real quick as a pit. So that's part of it too. Not only are there a ton of pit bulls out there, but I think a lot of dogs get mislabeled as a pit bull. Other dogs, now you're going to see more Corsos because there's going to be more of them. They absolutely have the ability to do it. Absolutely, boar bulls are capable of doing that, killing a human. There's just not a lot of them out there. But we are seeing a ton more of these more rare breeds coming into the States. Kangol, Central Asian Shepherds, Anatolian Shepherds. Like, get ready. They're going to start here and there. But it's not going to be to the same numbers. It's just not that many of them. XL bullies, dare I say, and the ban that's going on in the UK. But if you all haven't seen the video, I do and don't encourage you to watch this. I have seen a lot of dog bites in person, and we're usually high-fiving each other because it's a bad guy. This is a disturbing video, and it's two XL bullies. If you haven't seen it, it's fairly recent. I want to say in the last 6 months. It's a gentleman. It's daytime. I'll paint the picture for you. They're in some type of park area, this grass. This guy is getting absolutely torn apart by two XL bullies. I would say about 120 pounds each.
Was it in the UK or no?
I'm pretty confident.
There a fence that went across in like.
There's like old guys. There just happens to be 2 or 3 old guys. That's what I remember distinctly. I haven't seen in a while. They're coming over. They're hitting the dogs in the head with a brick. Some guy's coming over like a shovel. They cannot get these dogs to stop, and the guy is just completely gassed out. And I don't blame him because I don't know how long this has been going on for. Yeah. But these dogs are biting, holding, pulling, tearing in opposite directions. There's no quit. And this guy is basically given up. He doesn't have any fight left in him because he's just been being manhandled by these dogs. And for those who don't understand, 120-pound dog is easily as strong as or on par with maybe a 220, 240-pound man. Like pound for pound, the muscle, the power that these dogs have is incredible. So if he has 220-pound dogs on him, it's as if he has 200+ pound guys attacking him, and no wonder. But that guy ends up dying. Very scary to watch, very unsettling. So anyways, XL bullies. I find Rottweilers, I don't know if that surprises me or not, but I wouldn't have picked that off the top of my head.
Me too.
But absolutely, Mastiffs of any kind can do it.
Any big dog, I guess.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I don't know. I didn't see the list, but we didn't see German Shepherds on there.
We did see one. I did see one, but it was probably one out of there's a Dutch Shepherd there too, but probably, we're probably going through 30 or 45 before we found, there's a German Shepherd. So
Dutch Shepherd does not surprise me at all. The hardest dogs I've met just in my career, damn Dutch Shepherds, man. They are just not to be played with.
Labrador Retriever.
Now that is shocking.
That is shocking.
Does it say the age of the victim?
57 female.
And it was 2 dogs. Two dogs is so much different. It's like being attacked by 2 people. Like, you don't know where to look. Like, 2 dogs kill dogs a lot of times too. They team up.
Pack mentality. Almost like a feeding frenzy.
So Garrett, it's like social media, right? So Garrett, why is like a Jack Russell Terrier not on these lists?
It's just sheer size and strength. It just doesn't exist. it's
near
just
impossible,
not strong enough to do it. Yeah. Like if it was 2 Jack Russell Terriers going after this poor guy in the UK, he could have just picked them up, throw one over a fence.
Yeah.
The strongest dog I've ever had, like physically put my hands on or had at the end of a leash, was 120 to 130. I'd never weighed him, but on 120 to 130 pound XL bully. Thank God he was a sweetheart. He's in some of my videos. Future is his name. Sweetheart of a dog. But we do a technique, and very controversial, but here we are. Let's talk about it. I call it a side submission. You could call it a side lateral position, but we teach all of our dogs that come through our program to do this because it's so many benefits to it. I have videos where I'm washing my dogs. I just tell them to relax or just use my one finger. And with one finger, I can push over my dog into a side submission and they stay there while I trim the nails, check out their junk, look for fleas and ticks, wash them, trim their nails. And it's super beneficial when you take them to a vet, which we were just experiencing very recently. My 13-year-old dog, he's 13-year-old Corsa. You already know where I'm going with this. He's got a lot of health issues, and he's still a feisty little guy. But the vet was so happy to see. She needed to do X, Y, and Z. She had to stick a thermometer, you know where. And there's no fighting. I'm not fighting a 120-pound dog. We teach them at a very young age. If I put you in a side submission, you don't get up for nothing until I release you. And it's so beneficial. But to my point, we have now a 2.5-ish-year-old XL bully that wasn't taught this at a young age. And again, thank God he's a sweetheart. But I don't remember there was a reason for it. I think we had to do his nails. You know how hard it is to do a dog's nails that doesn't want that done. And so it was me and 2 other guys. At some point, we got him on his side.
Yeah.
And it's like riding a damn bucking bronco. This boy did a push-up with me on his back. I was riding him. I'm like, I cannot do it. I still have a scar from his nail scratching me. It's just raw power. I don't even know where I was going with it, but that it's not. And this dog would never hurt a fly. So I'm not crapping on the breed. This XL bully wouldn't hurt a fly. I mean, if he had his chance to, monster of a dog.
Yeah.
However, and this is probably leading to whatever it was, question 3 or 4 about, that red zone or what makes them flick. So I don't know if we're there yet, but
yeah. Well, I think I
talk in circles. Get me back on track.
Takeaway right here is that, if you don't want to have your dog kill somebody, you need to not have a dog big enough to kill somebody. So
that's
it's okay.
Number one, Garrett and I agree.
And you also need to have a breed that is common enough to make the list. But any dog big enough, strong enough, with the opportunity could potentially kill somebody. Second one was around the ownership, right?
Yeah.
So what are let's do a little bit more rapid, but so what are the attributes of a owner that, we're going to find out their dog ended up maiming somebody? What do they do on a daily basis?
I think that it's a lot of unruliness, a lot of being left. If we were to read this, a lot of being left in the backyard. A lot of these are, I think, escapes. And it's, I don't know. I mean, they don't exercise their dog. They don't train their dog. Like, this is not rocket science that I'm talking about. Like, I think people know this.
Remember what I said too early on? Feral.
Yeah.
They are animals. And they are holier than thou. And I get that. And I love the community that, like, the dog can do no wrong and they treat their dogs better than they treat their children. And I get all that. Dogs are very special creatures. But they're also animals. You know who else are animals? The 2-legged variety. We are more educated, smarter, more developed, more socialized. And we have, remember my background as from law enforcement, 18.5 years. My father did 32 years, city of Miami, 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds doing drive-bys with AK-47s.
Yeah.
And there is an analogy there. Why does that 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old choose to join a gang and do drive-by shootings? Ruthless, could care less. And why does somebody's XL bully turn out wonderful and the other one's out there tearing up the neighborhood?
Yeah.
And you already know what the answer is. And if I could dumb it down to one thing, I don't want to make this a political lack of, now I want to just say leadership in the household. Yes, for the dog, for the family, and why that kid turns out that way. It's the exact same thing, but we wouldn't say leadership. We would say lack of parenting.
Yes.
And often these are homes where there's no father figure.
That's exactly what I was going to say. To even boil it down more,
that's the podcast.
lack of fatherhood.
Well, it doesn't, it's not a male female thing, but you know, sometimes these moms are overloaded. There's no father in the household, so she's working 2 or 3 jobs. There's no one there to raise the kid. And so back to the dog in the backyard, unsupervised, no structure, no nothing. They revert back to their wild ways, right?
Bro.
We become cavemen, and these dogs become what they are bred to be. And I will say one more thing, if I may. These folks go out there and they get these Cane Corsos, these Boer bulls, whatever the breed is, bred to be guardians, bred to handle business, natural prey drive and instincts. You don't have to teach a pit bull to grab something and shake it to death. That comes pre-installed from the factory. If you got a little baby tiger, I don't know if it's called a cub or what, anybody and everybody can, it's going to lick your face. And what a sweet little thing. Yeah, wait till it's about a year old. It will kill you. And no one's going to be like, I'm shocked that your Bengal tiger jumped the fence and ate the neighbor's dog. I'm just shocked. Of course you're not shocked. It just, I call it when the switch is flipped, the testosterone hits the system and they become exactly what they are bred to do. And the dog version of that, because I just read it the other day and I'm like, what? I got a Cane Corso, sweet as can be, loves everybody. And then, I don't know, now he wants to kill my mailman. I'm like, yeah, because the switch was flipped. He's now 12 months old. He's come into his own. That's why your 15-year-old child who's out there doing drive-by shootings is doing it now at 15. He wasn't doing it when he was 5 years old.
Great point.
Yeah, I wasn't doing it at 10.
So that's my point.
That's a great point, actually. And the analogy is perfect. And I think you were kind of said, like, you know, certain breeds, and we can name if we want. You actually said them earlier. Anatolians, Cane Corsos, Pits, Rotties, but there's something that hits at for kid, you know, the dogs at about a year, for kids at 14 or whatever, and they go. And I think that's a great point.
Yeah, there's the hormonal,
aspect of it. And
I've never maturity, whatever you want to call it.
I've never totally like thought about it in a wild animal term. I mean, I've thought about, obviously, you know, they're big and strong and they can do damage to that. But I never thought just how close they actually are. Yeah.
Let's get off I just switch it. At what age does an orca become lethal?
Okay. I've seen males grow up. I've seen that. Even at, God, is there a puberty thing to orcas? Like how, I don't want to get off topic, and it's a good question.
I know, but I find it interesting. But will a baby orca right out of the womb, is it a threat to a human? Will it kill a human?
Yes, but not because they mean to. But here's the thing, and I don't want to get off on this, but it's a good question, and I could talk about killer whales all day. So I'm going to answer your question. So orcas end up, ponytails are a very dangerous thing. Women's ponytails. This is the thing. Almost all of them as babies, they start to investigate when the trainer's in the water, and they start to pull the ponytail down. So drowning's the problem. Killing due to wanting to kill really is not the problem ever, except with the whale who killed multiple people. But you could argue that whale that I worked with in Orlando, he killed people because he rehearsed it. But there was a female that was very dangerous too, who would have killed it. It's a little different. Plus, imagine.
So may I ask it this way?
Yeah.
When does a baby orca learn to hunt for itself? Like, can a baby orca right out of the womb just start taking down a seal?
No, it'd be like the cheetah video I saw the other day, where mom let the freaking little one go, let the gazelle go while I was still could run,
like
and then the babies went.
Barely, yeah.
So the moms will take fish and they'll wave it in front of the little baby, and he'll come up and eat it. And then it just, you know, they watch for years because they live so long. So at what age are they actually hunting? It depends too, because whales will hunt different things. So in Argentina, they come up and they get the seals. In Washington, they eat almost exclusively salmon. Now the orcas are off San Diego coast killing all these dolphins, which is cool because these dolphins
That's
are
cool.
These dolphins are a little too full of themselves out here, just cruising around like nothing to worry about. So killer whales had to come down for the last month.
Dolphins too?
They're like big dolphins. They're just taking out these dolphins, and these dolphins.
And you're happy about this?
Yeah, they're a little too full of themselves. These dolphins. I'm at the beach all the time because my kids surf, and these dolphins are out there jumping around like there's not a care in the world.
Not
You're just going to piss everybody off today.
The killer whales come in town.
So
but I think suffice it to say, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I like this idea that Garrett brought up about the animal thing. So when especially talking about the young boys that don't have parents at home, right? Because what are we? We're all animals, right?
Right.
I got in an argument with my wife about this. I was like, well, we're animals. She's like, we're not animals. I'm like, no, we really are animals. Like, we're in the Animalia, right?
Get me on the podcast.
So, no, I'm gonna straighten her out on the podcast. So, like, if you think about it, right, and then there's a lot of reasons. Like when you think about the joining of the gang, it's like they want to get out, they want to do something. They are becoming big and strong, and they want to go out and kick some ass. And I think the dogs are probably a bit.
And what's more dangerous? That kind of feral 14, 15-year-old by themselves. Oh, but put them in a pack. 14 or 15-year-olds.
Nothing's more dangerous than that.
Ooh, baby, you seen that video in New York where these aren't 15-year-olds. These are those migrants or whatever that were kicking the police officers in the head. Felt very empowered at the fact there was a pack of them. You know, there's that pack mentality. You see it in even larger scales with riots and things like that. So
I like that Garret brings another perspective in here. Now I'm going to say something too right here. So, man, I've seen it when these boys, when there's no father in the house and this boy becomes 14, 15 years old, there is a point, and the dogs are the same way when there's not a strong human. Somebody, I tell all the time, I'm like, okay, grab the dog and move him back 2 feet. And you can sometimes see these dogs with me or with the owner. They go, that guy just moved me. I was like pushing and he literally moved me 2 feet backwards, and they look at you like, you're really strong. No one's ever done that to me. And there's something that changes where they respect strength. So I've seen it with teenage boys in my own life, not my kids, but in my own life, when it's just mom, there is a point at which a boy will go, you actually can't stop me.
Oh yeah.
I can leave the house and I can do what I want. You physically cannot stop me anymore. And it empowers them. When there is a physical stopper in the house, a father, then it means something. And whoever doesn't think this is a thing needs to just open their eyes and look around a little bit. It's a thing.
That's true.
So,
It's
and they've never been told no. We see that, you know, as now coming in as a law enforcement figure and now having a 15 or 16-year-old kid, and they've done something really horrendous. 0 F's given, like just super anti-authority, if you will, because they've been getting away with it for so long. The school system can't do much about it. Nobody can handle business. And then I love those, I don't know if they still do this, but back in the day, like a Maury Povich or something, where they would bring in like a drill sergeant on these 13, 14, 15-year-old out of control kids. And then they send them to boot camp and those kids start crying right there. They were so big and bad until this guy comes out. And then they've never felt that type of presence before. And it they're yes, sir, and no, sir. When just a minute ago, they were flicking the bird to everybody.
It's like Scared Straight. Remember that?
Those
kids. That stuff was great because
prison talk on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't. Can you believe we're talking about prison?
Yeah, we talk a lot about prison.
We like it, but no, I think if you think about that, those kids, right? They only respect strength, right? Being a badass, being violent, being able to do that stuff. So to be able to, they go to these prisons and stuff, and then guys like, oh, you like to play this game? I actually play this game myself. That's how I got into prison.
But I'm 15 years older than you.
Yeah, I'm 15 years older. And I've been lifting weights. I've been lifting weights for the last 15 years in here, and it's cool because they're actually like trying to get through to them, and it's like those are probably the only people that can get through to those young kids, because the soft teacher, who's teaching English at the school or whatever, like. They don't take that guy seriously. And, but it's funny because the best, to me, that's what the kids need. Just like, isn't that the same thing with elephants, right? Where like those fatherless elephants.
Oh,
like,
I've heard that.
They become the juveniles just go nuts.
They did like a study on this, or watched some group where there was no bulls
because they were shooting the bulls.
And the youngsters were all like horrible little kids.
And I want to say something too, and I'm not just saying this to be PC, but I think you all find this interesting. When they talk about elephants, that's what kind of sparked my mind. I don't pretend to know everything about everything, but I believe elephants are a matriarchal society, meaning mama runs that, So it's a strong female presence.
Killer whales
Wolf packs the same thing. Alpha wolves run the pack. Alpha males. Well, you know who runs the alpha male? That alpha female. There are wolf packs out there where there's an alpha female, there's no alpha male. There is no wolf pack out there where there's just an alpha male and no female present. The woman, the female figure in that she runs it. And then you want to hear something wild too. I find this very interesting. I love nothing more than a strong female canine handler. when you have a badass alpha male dog, I mean, they got no quit. And then you bring in, you're like, oh, who are we going to pair this hard ass dog with? Let's get the biggest and baddest and most experienced canine handler we have. You know, that guy that probably did some juice back. He's just a monster. You match this handler, full alpha, with this dog, full alpha. You know what you get? Catastrophe. They just constantly at odds. Pair that alpha male dog with a strong female, he slides right into that number 2 spot. That's the only one that can handle that dog.
Yeah.
You just, because there's just some male dogs out there that like you can be hard on them and they'll be cool. They're, oh, you got me on this one. Tomorrow's a brand new day. And they're just constantly getting beat up by their own dogs. And by beat up, I'm talking about chewed up, just ugly. So something to be said there. And you see that dog respond beautifully to a strong female presence. So I'm just here to empower. And I say that story because we see it a lot where we might have some owners who just aren't stepping up, or they say like, I'm trying to, but I just don't know if I can take it. And then absolutely, you're the only one that can do this. So, and then I empower them with that. And then, you know what I do sometimes, and I may have said this before, but we just did it the other day. We got this little baby of a dog. It's a Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. In my opinion, one of the softest dogs on the planet. I mean, very sensitive, these two. At least the two. This is my only experience, these two. They're both very, very gentle creatures. And she has a hard time controlling him. He is an out-of-control little spoiled brat of a dog that's fighting with his sister, resource guarding. She's afraid of her own little dog. And I'm like, guess what, baby? And I don't mean to be rude. I didn't call her baby, but guess what? You got to control Thanos and him at the same time. Like you force them into the scenario, because I'm like, if you don't handle both of them, you're going to have a dog fight. So you better be hard. And then I've never seen them not rise to the occasion, because I literally just hand them the leash. I'm like, it's on you. Of course, I'm there to support and guide them. But I'm like, Thanos isn't going to respect you unless you handle that leash like you know how to handle it. And you'll see him at first, he's goofing around. I said, hey, tell him to sit. He's like, yeah, make me. He makes him and he goes, oh, it's like that. It's like that. Now he's like, oh, yes, ma'am. Anyhow, so I'm just trying to empower everyone out there, men and women alike, whether there's a man in the household or not. It's not about that. It's about stepping up as a leader.
So the point of giving her Thanos was to build her confidence with a big dog, one. It was also to sort of rehearse, like she kind of might have gone, I'm not going to get this giant scary dog to sit unless I really have my energy. So she rehearsed doing it with him, so then she can do it with the other one. Am I reading that right? Like, what you gave her your dog to go, boom, go do this. There was 2 reasons I said. Was there another reason? I like it. I like the move. I like,
I think to push them out of their comfort zone.
The person.
Yeah. Push them, demand, like, you have to do this. And I've done this maybe a little bit more than a handful of times. And it's funny because if there's one in particular, I think one of the first times I did this really nice woman a couple years ago had a German Shepherd that was super leash reactive, pretty dominant, whatever. But as soon as you just hand the leash to someone that knows what they're doing, he's very respectful and obedient. But with her, he takes advantage of her. And I see it all the time. It's regardless of the age of the dog or the breed of the dog. It's just lack of leadership. And the dog was taking advantage of her. And I'm like, oh, you can fix this with one correction. Just one. Give it to me. And she couldn't do it. And she couldn't do it. And I'm like, look, now you got to do it. And this is a dog that couldn't be around within 50 feet. This dog would react. I got it to where I can walk them right next to each other. I said, now here you go. Handle Thanos for just a moment. I want you to feel what Mordog feels like. And I'm like, and I'm empowering her, because I think part of it too is it's not their own Pookie Bear. This is somebody else's dog. I'm like, that's not your dog. I'm telling you, this is my dog. Be hard on him. He'll survive. He's a mastiff. You're not going to hurt him. No, do it again. Not hard enough. Come on. And I'm not talking about being abusive to the dog. I'm talking about a simple leash pop to get the dog to sit. Anyhow, once there you go. And they can see the difference. So watch, now he's listening to you. Okay, now guess what? You got to walk both. And I'm telling you now, if you don't do this correctly, you're going to have a dog fight on your hands. So maybe it's a little risky on me. I'm right there. I know what's going to happen. And then I have it on video, actually. I don't think I've ever released it. She's walking these 2 dogs, and we were doing a simple stop and pop. You told them they heal. They both know how to heal. If you stop, they're supposed to stop, but they're not going to stop because they don't respect you. They're going to keep walking. And when they keep walking, you let them know what time it is. Man, she executed that, and you saw an instant change in both dogs. They went from like, who's the biggest guy on the block to, oh, it's like that? Yes, ma'am. And then just sweethearts after that, because she set the tone. And that's all that's needed. So I just preach this all day long. It's just be a leader.
You got to do what you say you're going to do, right? I mean, you got to be
follow through.
And his thing was like, push the person, not to focus on this one thing of giving your dog to a person, but it's a cool little move. I don't know if I've ever done it. Push her beyond comfort zone. 2 dogs. It's like kids. Like if you have no kids and you're going to talk to me about having children, we're not even in the same universe. We don't even believe the same thing about life. Like have a couple kids, then you can talk to me. So you're kind of like, hey, have 2 dogs. And then she gets her 1 dog and it's like cake compared to 2.
Man,
which is a good thing.
I think it's also like a little bit of like, it's an adrenaline dump. Like they're breathing heavy. They're like, oh my God, like I can't, you have to do it. It's happening. So you're either going to make it happen or who knows it's going to be a disaster. And they rise to the occasion, and it's a little bit of adrenaline dump, and then it's empowering, and man, it's like life-changing for them, for the dog. Yes. So steal that from me, Joel. I want to see it in one of your next training videos.
That's a great idea. I love it.
So
Prince
I have a question.
My clients, and Prince wants nothing to do with the clients. To not walking. I could have him walk a dog, but he's out there to work, and the people want to meet Prince because it's like Thanos. Like if they're like, oh, I want to meet that dog, and Prince is like, I'm working, dude. And I'm like, hey, if you want to pet him, like you got to kind of grab his collar and pet him because he's cruising. But that's interesting.
I've got a question for Garrett. So have you ever grabbed or have you ever like worked with a dog and then you told the owner like, man, you might need to get rid of this dog? Or like, have you had those heart-to-hearts where, and maybe it's because of the dog or maybe it's because of the owner, but where you're like, this dog's gonna kill somebody or something? Have you done anything like that?
I'm thinking really deep on this. No, because like I just don't have I have like a no quit attitude when it comes to, I'm a pit bull in a sense. I'm like, no, because it's not a size thing. I think every dog deserves a chance, and even if it can't be fixed, it can be managed. But there are times when I'm like, would leave them with some parting words, like, and I don't know if I said this before on your podcast, and it's super like controversial, and it's even hard to talk about, but I don't even know if I want to bring it up, but there's just some dogs.
Now you should bring it up.
Yeah, I know, but it's
if you want to bring it up. Don't worry about us. We bring up everything. We don't care.
No, it's just, but I think we had brought it up last time, and maybe did we talk about the pedophile conversation?
No.
That's bad for the algorithm.
No. You can talk about it if you want to talk about it.
We might get
now I want to hear. Now I want to hear.
Yeah, you got to hear it now. You got to hear it.
All right, let's do it.
But we've had this conversation, right? Now, get ready for it.
All right, we're ready.
What training, and you have access to the whole world and every psychologist and everything you want. What training can you provide a pedophile to the point that you would trust that pedophile in a room with your kids by themselves?
None.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Now, what the hell are you talking about here? What I'm trying to say is, whether it's a mental illness or a disease, there are some dogs that have, I'm not saying they're a pedophile, there's something wrong.
Yes.
And I don't care what training you do, you're not going to get rid of that gene or that trauma or whatever it is. It's always going to be there. Now, can you manage it? Yeah, because I'll give you a solution. Ready? When I talk about tools and leadership and training, maybe you can't do this in California. Can I think of a scenario where I would trust a pedophile in a room full of kids? Yeah, I'm there and I've got, what attached to my hip. It ain't going down when I'm there. It's just not going to happen. Did I cure him of him being a pedophile? No.
But
is he still thinking dirty thoughts? Maybe, probably, but it ain't happening on my watch. So can you have a dog that has the tendency to want to kill other dogs for sport? Yes. And there's no curing it. I mean, maybe you can. Yeah, you can go very far, but maybe the best you can do is manage it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. A lot of times from folks out there in the dog training world say, you're just suppressing the behavior. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm suppressing the behavior so that it never resurfaces again, hopefully, and let them know every time it does surface, it ain't working. You got to find another way to deal with this, because lashing out at another dog is no longer in your repertoire. So find something else to do.
Bro, that's the funniest thing. And I don't want to get twist topics because you just went off in a great way. Yeah, suppressing the behavior. Yeah, that's what I said somewhere in some video or some comment. I'm like, exactly. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Like, you're not getting me by saying that. I thought that's exactly what I'm doing, genius. Who the big dog trainer.
Now, once we suppress the behavior, there may now be a window of opportunity while he's no longer lashing out at another dog, that we can overlay something new, such as a sit stay, a focus, or whatever. And over time, it could actually cure the problem. But at minimum, we've got it managed. And that might be the best you can hope for. And now just continue to manage it.
I legit thought he was like going toward like castration when he was saying like what training can be done. I was like, I don't know what you could do in that scenario.
Oh, in that pet. Oh, yeah. I didn't think.
And even then, so castrate them. Would you still trust them in a room with your kids?
Yeah, no. I think they've actually done studies where like they did this like many years ago, like thousands of years ago or something.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
And they found that the person actually lashed out more after that, like in a different way, but they made them like nutty.
And so back to dogs, they say, well, if I just neuter my dog, the problem, will it go away? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it might a little bit, might do nothing at all.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Exactly. So I want to get back to Eric. We got the number one, breed. Number two was.
Eric, you took us off.
Eric doesn't even know. Eric barely had an idea of what he wanted to talk about today.
No, it's out
there. Because I want to get to. I like number 4 because I wanted to add to it.
That was mental.
No. So the third part. That's the mental choice. The third part is about how do you train to prevent, so that you're not a statistic, so that you're not the cause, which kind of got into the. I mean, it's basically, I think what you're trying to say is like, and I'd like to argue for a second with Garrett.
You are going to argue.
Qualified, since I'm so qualified to argue with him, is that I have to feel though that some people come to your shop, like you haven't given up on the dog, but you must shake your head with some of the people and be like, this lady's not going to get it, or this guy is not. Yeah. This guy needs to have a literal
frontal lobotomy.
Yeah, frontal lobotomy in order to change. In order to become like, you go, this guy is lacking the leadership. You show him what he needs to do, and you're like, this guy is not getting what he needs to do.
That's when Garrett or me, when we get to work and like you send the dog to the person to do most of the work. And then people are, well, the dog, it has to happen when the dog goes home. Yes, it does. But we as dog trainers can actually do a lot of the work on our own to get the dog to a point where it's manageable for the person who is not doing the best or doesn't have the ability to do the best. We can get them there, and that's where the program he offers comes in. That's where the program I offer comes in.
It's like boarding, right? It's like boarding.
It's not a perfect system, but it's the best system for people sometimes.
Yep. So the way I describe it, I said, I don't care how much money you spend or where you send your dog to the best trainer in the world. They can only take your dog 90 to 95% of the way there, because they can't look like you, they can't smell like you, they can't sound like you. Again, Thanos is pretty well trained. That doesn't mean he's going to just listen to any Joe Schmo that picks him up. And yeah, I can give you a cue card with what his commands are. That ain't going to help you. That's not going to help you at all.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to fill in that last 5 or 10%. The dog needs to know that you are stepping in as a leader, period. I mean, I'll give you a different example so people can wrap their head around it. I could be a really good general manager of a restaurant, and I got everyone doing what they should be doing. And there's all different types of personalities in that restaurant, right? Hardworking people, lazy people, people that like to take advantage. But if you're on them, they're pretty good. The restaurant's running like a top. And then I bring in a new manager with little to no experience, and I say, run the restaurant. How long before the restaurant falls into shambles? People start showing up late. People start stealing from the cash register.
3 days.
Same restaurant. Yeah, maybe. And exactly with the dog. How long before this dog reverts? So to your point, Eric, there's been times where I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you believe in the dog
at such a high level.
Yeah. It's the dog it's really becomes the owner. And I've bugged Joel about this with like, hey, we should do a video about how the owners are the problem. And he's always like, oh God.
Well, because you know, I'm like Garrett. Like, I think we respect the people who come to us enough. And there's so many people. I've had high level people and athletes and all these other people and like many CEOs, big rich CEOs who know how to run businesses. And they come to me and they're like, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, people literally don't know what to do. And I've never really thought badly about them at all. Because they literally don't know what the hell to do. And I feel bad for them, not about them. They don't know, right, Garrett? They don't know what to do.
But I can work with I don't know. What I can't work with, and I've seen this before, and you know how it ended in disaster. I'm teaching them how to use an e-collar, and this is what it looks like.
They're on their phone?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Let me just finish this text. Yeah, I got it. No. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what do you know? Literally, you don't even know what we're talking about. And I got the wife kind of smacking them saying, honey, put the phone down. You got to pay attention. So there's just, and they're not bad people. It's just, they assume.
They're just dumb shits.
They think the dog's a robot, and it's like, it's not a robot. You got to learn how to maintain this thing.
Yeah, there's a class.
How long before it reverts?
And there's a classical conditioning response to give sort of the dog. Well, I'm not giving the dog a pass. They literally, the smell of their house, they come to me or Garrett. They get trained at our place with us. Then they go home. It's like if you walked into the house, I use this all the time with our clients. You walked in the house you grew up in, you smell the smell, you are back to there's an emotional response of happiness or sadness that floods in. The dog goes back. I've seen more regression for dogs either at the beach or dogs that live in downtown San Diego, because the high rises are this stimulus that brings them back to a place. It's an emotional response. Or the beach salt air. They train in my facility is essentially a desert. They train at the beach, or they live at the beach. Salt air comes in, they revert to their old thinking, and it's very powerful. Yeah.
It's like the kids, you know, they go to boarding school, they come back, and then they're hanging with their friends again, and they're back.
Yeah.
I mean, I got another example for you. And again, I may have said it on the last podcast, but I use some of these things all the time, but I think it really drives home the point. And cut me off if we said it, but did we talk about the drill sergeant versus the art teacher?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
You must have said that on someone else's podcast, man.
No. It's just certain things that I'd like use to help for the owners. This is literally what I tell every single owner, to help empower them so that they understand about filling in that last 5 or 10%. Because you hit the nail on the head, Joel. They work perfect for you because the smell and the sound and the look of you and your environment, that dogs are very environmentally oriented, and they also orient different depending upon who's in the room with them. The very quick human example is, we'll just use, I'm trying to think of who we could use, but we'll use you, Eric. Eric acts a certain way in the boardroom, at dress for business, at work, in the boss's office. Now, Eric, I don't know what you do for work.
This is very true, by the way.
True,
This is
okay, cool. Now, when the boss is not there and Eric's not at work, but Eric is at the bar with his buddies from college, it's the same Eric, but he's acting very different. Dogs are the same. So my home, or where we train, becomes the boardroom, and I'm the CEO, and they're on point. And then as soon as they smell that salt air, as soon as they come back home, it's like, it's a bar, baby. They're doing they're doing backflips off the bar. They're crazy. So now that's the dog example. The human also example is, if you had 30 kids in a high school class and the teacher was a former Marine Corps drill sergeant, all 30 kids were going to be on point. The bell rings, they go to the very next classroom, same 30 kids, except it's an art teacher and he's very lackadaisical and he doesn't care. And those kids act wild. That makes sense, right? Now, what's very interesting is if you take it a step further. Again, 30 kids in classroom number 1, very well behaved. Same 30 kids move to classroom number 2 with the art teacher, they're buck wild crazy. Now, what happens when a substitute teacher enters classroom number 1? How do you think those 30 students will behave in the drill sergeant's classroom when the substitute teacher comes in? We all remember how we treated those substitute teachers.
Buck wild.
How do you think they'll behave?
Buck wild.
I think slightly better, but not like they're going to be bad, but they're still going to be slightly better because they know
I'm going to say
he's going to beat that ass.
Who? Oh, when he comes back.
No, because I've had teachers that have done this.
Is that the right answer?
My thought process is, that environment is so charged up with good behavior. I think, yeah, they're going to revert a little bit. But if they were at a 10, maybe they fall to an 8. But now, what do you think happens in the art teacher's classroom when the substitute teacher comes?
And it's buck wild.
It's going to be pure mayhem.
That's a good example.
There's
so there's the environmental aspect, there's the leader, the guy person aspect, and they both work. Right.
Now let's take it one more step further.
Oh, more steps.
Classroom 1 has ended. The kids leave in an orderly fashion. Into classroom number 2, where it's crazy town. The art teacher gets a call. He's got to go home. He reaches out to the drill instructor. Hey, can you come over and fill in my classroom? The drill sergeant walks in. What do those kids do in the art teacher's environment?
Okay.
With the drill sergeant present.
We're at a 0, let's say being bad, or 10. I don't know. It's our teacher, it's mayhem, it's craziness. Drill sergeant comes in. We're ticking up to a 7.
Immediately, though.
But a 7? But there's not a 10.
Sure. I think so. Immediately it's a 7. Like, oh, damn, look who's here.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to act a fool. No, that's not how we do it in this classroom. And he's going to go, I don't know if I slapped the table hard enough, but he's going to bust out the ruler and go, not on my watch. You know, and they're going to be right back to a 10. You know what he's going to do if I was him? He's going to push for an 11.
Oh, to make
a point. Saying? Yeah.
What's funny about this is like, so I had a teacher like this, and one of the things he did,
Garrett.
One of the things that he did was like, you know, because he was the alpha times 1,000, right? It was like, if you disrespect my substitute, like you're done, right? But just so you know, and I wish that there was more teachers like this, because I feel like this teacher helped change my life. I might have talked about him on the podcast, but as my 10th grade biology teacher, and he's legendary out here. First day of school, I had no idea what I was expecting. He had a taped up axe handle, right? And he'd take this axe handle, right? And as soon as the bell would ring on the first day, he would start screaming, and he would take the axe handle and he would bash the like table, you know, sit across from each other. He'd bash the table. He'd go, quiet. You know, he starts screaming and he's busting, and books are flying off the table, right? And people are shitting their pants, including myself, because I'm like,
I've never had a teacher like this.
And he was
I needed a teacher.
He was like kind of like the wrestling / football coach kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, he's like 5'10",
he's our drill sergeant, maybe.
Yeah, he was definitely the drill sergeant. And then he would do that. And no joke, he actually did this thing, and he got in trouble for it a little bit later, but not when I was in school, where he was like, hey guys, I will be doing headbutts. So basically, next time we do, if you don't read this chapter, you are going to get headbutts. He's all in for you girls out there. I give equal opportunity headbutts. So you will get one too. And I was like, this guy will headbutt me. I'm going to legit read what I said. But what happened is he did care a lot more about everybody, and he ran a perfect class. And there was other ones, like you're saying, where, I mean, you could do whatever you wanted and there was no consequences. So to me, that guy, I needed someone like that in my life at that time to be the guy that's like, no. And one thing I think I've told Joel is 15. And like one of the things I told, I think I've told Joel this a few times is I went in there one day because he said, any morning you come in and I will help you with whatever you need. And so I went in there and I go, hey, I need help. He goes, where are your notes? And I go through, I show him, there's like no notes, right?
Yeah,
and he's like,
you're a big dummy.
He's like, what the hell? He's like, you're drawing like guns and stuff. Like, what are you doing, Brady? And he goes, you need to start. And I go, well, who cares? I go, I'm getting F's in all these classes. It doesn't even matter. He's like, I don't care. He's like, you are not getting an F in this class. You can get an F in all the other classes, but not this
guy.
one.
You should call this guy and thank him.
I see him. I see him at the Mexican shop. I see him and I thank him. And actually,
you do. Good.
I've seen him like 3 times since high school. And every time I ask him, he goes, what are you doing for work? Like, what's your job? And he's like, so it sounds like you're successful. I'm like, I was like, dude, you helped me a lot. And it was like in a high school full of
tough love. Tough love.
It was in your face. You're going to do what we say, or during that time. And it was like, and we learned a ton because we were screwing around. Yeah.
Now, and I got to say this too, because I end up getting labeled as like, oh, Garrett's an a-hole. Garrett's the guy beating things with his, no, this is just so happens that I think a lot of people out there are afraid to talk about this, but you're not going to cure it all with love. Like this 2-year-old dog that we're dealing with right now that likes to bite his sister for no reason. They gave him all the love, all the hugs and kiss. This dog has lived the life. He was just missing that teacher right there. and it doesn't even need that much. I have that dog squared away like in about, I don't know, like 2 walks.
Yeah.
2 walks. And now that we got the stupid out of the way, it's nothing but hot dogs and butt scratches. Like, you're my boy. That dog has come. He is a completely different dog until mommy comes around. And then he smells mama and he goes, the reversion happens. And then I got to show mom how to handle it. So anyways, I think we killed that conversation.
So with last one, we have one more.
Garrett gets all worked up.
We have one more.
Awesome. I love it.
Do we get the mental twist thing?
No, this is the one I want to talk about.
That's the last one. So the last one is the mental twist. Is like the idea, the way I was thinking about it is like, what is the thing you're seeing? And this one is not just killer dogs, this is all dogs. What is that thing that they have? It's only the bigger dogs that can actually do it. But what is the thing that you see, the going red or the seeing red, the doing whatever, where there's something like almost like the way you'd call like somebody a psychopath or a sociopath or whatever, where they're like, the lights are on, but nobody's home type of dog. And I think you've seen this in obviously some of your dogs, like you said that a few minutes ago, right? Where they look at you and you're like, whoa, bro, this dog's got the eyes. Like it's got the shark eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It happens. So you want my opinion on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Answer it however you want.
No, sure. And I love this. And it's a great topic to have. I think people are going to learn from this really. There's so many ways to tackle this, but we all will agree that there's humans out there that are serial killers, rapists, thieves, just for whatever reason, whether it's genetic issues, or
trauma.
And by the way, trauma, absolutely, combination. And sometimes these things don't come out till later. We've heard of people who normal childhood, and then all of a sudden something happens. Schizophrenia pops in. And if I don't know if you've ever dealt with someone with schizophrenia, but there's no fixing that. There's no talking. When they're convinced that the CIA is listening to them in the book over there, and you open the book and show them like, what are you talking about? You can't fix that. You can drug them, but you're not just managing it. So if that exists in humans, you mean to tell me there's not schizophrenia in dogs? And I don't pretend to be a vet or prescribed, but you see it. There's some dogs, it's just something's wrong there. Like, what's wrong? Now you can manage it to a point, but we've seen there's dogs out there that, and so what's the dog equivalent of schizophrenia that I've seen? The boogeyman. They are convinced the boogeyman is out there to get them. I mean, they're just looking over their shoulder like that was it. It's like, there's just a car door slammed. Now whether that's genetic or some past trauma or a combination, sometimes you can work through it and sometimes you just can't. They're just convinced that the boogeyman's out there to get them. All right, so moving on, that's one part. The other part now, when we're talking about seeing red, one thing I'd like to talk about is what I've labeled as misplaced prey drive. We would think nothing of a pit bull or any breed. I'll use Thanos. That boy it would be his idea of a perfect day is to chase down a squirrel. That boy wants to kill a squirrel with everything he has in him.
Prince too.
It's instant. Cats too. And it's not mean. It's not like I'm mad at that cat. It is prey drive to like he's just got pretty tremendous prey drive. Deer too. Gone like a rocket. Thank God we got a recall in e-collars. So, and he comes right back, no problem. And I can control it. But he's on the ragged edge. When he sees a squirrel or something, he's like, trying to cap that drive. But anyhow, we would think nothing. We wouldn't be like, why did that dog chase that squirrel or bunny or duck? Genetics. It's thousands of years, tens of thousands of years of prey drive. Okay. What happens when, and I've only seen this once or twice, but I know it exists because I've seen it now, but I know it exists more. When, and it just so happened to be a pit mix. There's a bunch of stuff in this, but I definitely had some pit in it. It saw other dogs like Thanos sees a squirrel.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's not dominance. It's not territorial. And I can tell by one of the things that gave it away was the tonality of the bark. It was a high-pitched, squealy, whimpery, like, please let me chase you and kill you.
Yes, it exists.
Yeah, and I feel like that comes about from breeding and going back to when they were fighting dogs against each other. How would you build that drive? And I think one of the ways they built that was, oh, you know how you like to chase a rat, or because I think that's originally what pit bulls at some point were bred to do, was just ratting, right? How many
changed it?
You'll see that with the Jack Russell Terrier or whatever, rat terriers. Anyways, it's that same drive channeled towards other dogs, and that is very scary.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly right, I believe. Yeah.
And that's not all of it. That's just one of the triggers. Now, what else could it be? Dominance, territorialism, whatever, whatever. But now I'm going to use a different example because I try to help explain people, why do dogs do what they do? And I'm just a dumb canine handler. So I dumb everything down for myself to understand. What on earth would ever drive a man to elbow his fiancée in the face and break her nose?
I don't know.
I can't answer that.
Let me paint the picture for you, right? Because we would never do that. Well, unless these things happen, because again, we're animals. You're at the, and I'm not excusing this by any means. I'm just saying these things happen. The man's in a bar. He's got testosterone in his system. Maybe he's got a couple drinks in him. Maybe they're coming back from a wedding. And I mean, the night's been wonderful. He loves this woman. He plans to marry this woman. But watch what happens. A couple other dudes walk in the bar. This is his bar, like meaning the guy, we'll call him Mike. Mike and his fiancée, Michelle, I'm just making up names. This is their watering hole. They're here to celebrate. But now two dudes come in that they've never seen before, walking around like they own it. And they're going to impress upon, because that machismo's out. And you've seen this play out, I don't know how many times in whatever bar. And it just starts with a look. And you already feel there's something in the air. And now Mike's got to posture up because he's got to, position himself next to his woman. You ever seen a dog position themselves next to a human? Who's closer to the threat? And then literally it can pop off like that. So this is happening quick, right? It happens really quick with dogs. With humans, there's a slow build to it. And now there's a drink. And now these guys come over. They say the wrong thing. They look the wrong look, or they touch the wrong touch. And it's on. And now Mike's posturing up for a fight. Adrenaline is dumping. He sees red, and his girlfriend tries to calm him down. And he goes, get the F off of me, because he's in fight or flight. He didn't mean to break her nose. He kind of knew what he was doing when he did it. He overdid it. And that's how dogs sometimes bite their own humans. Happens all the time, where that dog is ready to murder. That, like, it's going to be very much a territorial or defensive type of drive, fight or flight mode. And then the human tries to intervene and they get tagged. Yeah. Because that dog's unloading. I'll give you another kind of random, like on that same line. My point is the human is seeing red. Drinks or no drinks. It's just, I think we become a little more animalistic with, and by the way, we always talk about dog drive. Let's talk about what drives do humans have. We got food drive. We have sexual drive, right? And so on and so forth. And there's actually a very interesting conversation. I can't remember where I heard it, but I want to dive in deeper on it, where there's sometimes in the brain, certain things get crossed over. And I find this so interesting. Check this out. You would say that humans have a certain level of food drive, right? I'm a fat ass myself, so I'll be the first one to admit, I would like a pizza or whatever. Luckily for me, I don't have this problem, but aren't there? And then I'm a man, I have children. So I have some modicum of sex drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it exists.
We know what you're saying.
You know where these fetishes come about? Where people mix food with sex. You know what I mean? I don't.
I'm very happy I do not have this fetish, but yes, I know this is a fetish.
We've heard of it, right?
Eric has this fetish, but go ahead.
Is there a whipped cream one?
So something's going on. Like there's this, it's like a crossing in the brain. And whoever was talking about this on a podcast or something, oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. Now, you know where it also crosses over? Aren't some people, when it talks about sex drive, don't you see sometimes, and I don't know what you would call this in humans, but almost like a violence, some type of fight drive, where sex and a little bit of aggression get intertwined.
I think you
rough
see it
sex
in war, like years ago after wars, there would be a lot of bad things.
raping.
Apparently the Russians, when they came into Germany after World War II, there's not a talked about thing where there was a lot of rapes right after the fighting in that area. But go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
And these are humans.
This is a thing. Yes.
Humans.
Yes.
That are all, you know, like we talked about earlier, that we shouldn't be doing these things. And we have more self-control, I think, than a dog. Yeah. Now look, so anyways, it's very interesting. So I think that's how sometimes like a prey drive can be kind of crossed with some type of whatever, territorial, like defensive drive. Crazy things can be happening. So I just find that really interesting. And so anyways, is anyone here, probably have some men because we're idiots, you ever thrown your phone across the room and broke your own phone, or punched a hole in the wall and broke your hand or something like that? It's like, well, why would you punch the wall? Redirecting aggression. And so dogs redirect aggression sometimes, and I've seen this personally, see this a lot. One dog wants to get at or defend his territory against the other dogs that are on the other side of the fence. His buddy comes along. Yeah, what's up, man? I'm here to fight too. And the more alpha dog goes, bah! Get out of my, I'm dealing with this. That's the elbow to the face, you know? And they're best friends. Yeah. But in the moment, when they're seeing red, it's on. So whether it's prey drive that activates it, territorial type of drive, defensive drive, we all experience these things. What would drive a human to kill another human? All of these things.
So check this out. This is going, okay, so we're going to be able to grab like a really awesome rant kind of. We'll grab one of him. His podcast, going to be off the chain. There's going to be talking about castration, pedophiles, right?
Well, that's our podcast.
No,
he talks about dogs. He talks about dogs in his podcast.
He won't be able to hide
clean over here.
He's got to
he won't be able to hide it.
Oh,
see, what we thought is we could do.
I thought he'd talk about dogs because he's a normal dog trainer. We're the only ones that don't talk about dogs in our podcast.
No, see, we've done, so this is episode number 39. So we've got whatever 50 plus hours. You can't hide your real self. So after a while, like it starts sliding into the politics, right? It starts getting into, you know, all this type of stuff. So I'm super pumped on our little, like, you know, we have a little friendship we're building over here. I was talking
100%. Tremendous love and respect for you guys. I can't speak highly enough about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The same.
So we need to end up getting on his podcast.
It'll happen.
I'm going to be waiting with bated breath. How do they listen to it? When is it actually coming out? When's the first episode? Do we know?
This first one should be out within a week. And it's really interesting thing that we have, you know, our main channel and we have the smaller channel. And we're just not sure whether we should be pushing the podcast to the smaller channel. Like, so we'll make it very apparent, because even if we put it on the smaller channel, we're going to promote it on the main channel. It's not going to be hard to find. Just head on over to our channel. And I really cannot wait for you guys to come over to our place. And we'll talk about whatever you want. I want your folks to post in the comments below. Let them know. Do you want to see him come to our podcast? You want to see him come to Charlotte? We can train dogs together. We can have beers together. We can
shoot guns.
I want to, I want to really crack open. And I would love to just deep dive, whether it's on a podcast or not. I would love to pick your brain about the orca training, dolphin training. Like, I find that so fascinating.
I'd love it.
Killer whales, killer dogs. That should be the name.
Killer
of
cats.
Podcast.
I worked with big cats. You can talk to me. You can ask me anything. I just want to go on somebody's podcast so I can just answer questions and not have to ask them, which is fine to ask them. But and you might be the first because we asked you. You came. You've asked us. We'll come. So
yeah, and I think my podcast too. Like, even though we're going to talk about dogs, I plan to have like, if you and I don't even talk about dogs, no problem. Let's talk about orcas. Let's talk about you, you know, let's talk about business. Let's talk about self-improvement. Let's talk about how, you know, California sucks. Whatever, we talk politics, it's wide open, you know.
It's wide open.
Yeah. I mean, get all that stuff so that you can. So to answer your question about which one you should put it on, if you are hell bent on destroying your channel, then put it on the big one and just,
that's what we've done.
Do what we're doing and basically just talk about stuff where people go, what the hell is this podcast?
I came on to Joel Beckman's channel and I'm on this freaking podcast where they're talking about, so You make your call on destroying your own channel. Put the podcast on your channel. We're half kidding. But
Only
we're
half,
not all kidding.
No, I know what you
Only
mean.
half.
Yeah. It makes sense what you're saying. Yeah. If we're on a dog training channel and I'm talking to somebody about growing a business, people are, what
it's a tough call, but then you'll get more views on your podcast because they're coming to your channel. It's a weird thing. It's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I have one question that I have to ask you. I did a online session with a guy, Cane Corso, 1-year-old. I had a whole hour with him today. I told him everything I believe. The dog's 12 months old. I told him about the 12 up to 12 months old. He's dominant with dogs. He started to growl at some people. The Cane Corso, the guy met the dog's dad, and he was really good. The dog was raised in a mobile home, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. Obviously, it's not the worst thing, right? He wasn't in a pen outside where he heard a bunch of dogs barking. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was okay. It's from a line of good Cane Corsos, but he's doing the normal Cane Corso thing. He's intact. The guy wants to keep him intact. I told him, here's what I said. I said, I don't know if Garret Wing, or I like Jason Corey also very much. He's got a Cane Corso. I said, I don't know if they do phone sessions. I said, I will reach out to them and ask them. Don't do it as a favor to me. If you don't do it, don't do it. Do you do phone sessions or Zoom sessions?
Yeah. We do virtual training sessions. Yes.
You do?
Then, yeah, very rarely, because I want to help as many people as possible. But yeah, I do them.
This guy's
they exist.
He's in your. They exist, and they could go on a website and find a link, or no?
Yeah, they can email my team, info@diycanine.com, and then they can set them up with the virtual training.
It's just
but we can even do one better. Yeah, and I don't want to, plug what we do, but like our DIY canine, like especially our premium membership, you get me every week for an hour and a half. I answer anything you need as a member, like whatever. And if I don't have the answer, which is kind of rare, that we are going to figure the dang answer out together.
Yeah.
Like, I will go into my Rolodex. I will call Joel Beckman and say, Joel, help me out here. I got someone with a Doberman. Same thing, man. And so, yes, that happens. But
orcas, right? It was killer whales. They have questions about killer whales. You go, hold on, let me get.
Yep.
So I'm going to give him that email, and this is. I think he'll probably sign up for that program. To be honest with you, he's a really good owner. Who it's just him and the dog, and he wants the best. And he goes, if you could talk to them and see about if they do that, he goes, I would be forever grateful. So I'm going to give him that email. He can do what he wants, but it's in your wheelhouse, and I thought of you, and so that's that. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, appreciate that. Thank you for the referral. Yeah, my pleasure. Right. Thank you guys so very much, and thank you to your family and to your followers and to everything. I can't speak highly enough about everything that you do, and my hat's off to you, sir, gentlemen.
All right,
you too, man.
You heard it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Garret.
There it is. All right, that was awesome. That was super cool.
He gets into it.
Yeah, that was fire. No, he can't hear you anymore, I don't think.
No, he can.
Oh, he can hear us. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because he's on stage. So we can just talk about him as he sits there. We can kind of see him. He's waving.
It's such a weird deal.
Yeah.
When I clicked it, it said ban from the studio. I was like, I don't know. I don't want him to ban him. I don't want him to. See, he's like,
I think we just leave the guest in there and then we talk about him as they,
that was
he like
horrible.
did this big funny wave as he was going.
Yeah, we should be able to record that part too, where they look like they're in jail or something like that.
Yeah.
What'd you think? That was crazy, right?
He's great,
dude.
He goes off.
You're gonna be able to get like some fired up like rant that he had and put it right at the beginning, and people are like, "Whoa!"
I know they're gonna be like,
like there was fireworks on that thing.
Yeah,
I thought
he's passionate, and that's really all we care about. We had Dog Daddy on; he was pretty passionate too.
Yeah.
I think if I go on, I do this podcast. I don't know if I guess I'm a little more chill than those guys. Maybe Dog Daddy's chill. Garret gets work. I love it. I love it for social media. You got to get worked up. I love it for being a dog trainer. You got to get worked up. He's obviously thinking parallels between people and dogs, and we've all brought out those parallels, and he thought about it a lot. He brought up all kinds of people, dog stuff.
He was texting me just now. That's who I was talking to.
What did he say?
He said, thank you guys so much again. Killer podcast, I think. And I said, that was awesome. I said, drops Thursday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you should go on this podcast and just talk just nothing about dog training. If he asks you a question about dog training, be like, I don't want to talk about dog training.
I'm not here to talk about dog training. So he did some shorts on his channel of when he was on our podcast. Did you see them?
Mm-hmm. Bro, I saw 2 of them.
I love them because it literally goes like, Garrett's talking about something, and then it cuts to me like right here, and I'm going like, yep, or I'm like, and I love it because it's just is me, and I'm just like, it's like 1 second, and I'm like, and I'm like, I hear myself talk enough. I don't need to hear myself. I just like my little snippets of my 2 cents.
I thought it was cool. I think I caught the trailing end of my voice in one of them too, so that felt good.
Oh yeah,
I was like, that was like a little piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good themes in there. I mean,
shouldn't put you in it, but
what? You're lucky I'm inviting you out to Charlotte, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He wanted me to be on the podcast.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, can we do a couple of comments before we go?
Yeah.
We gotta let.
Oh yeah, but Garrett, we did not think we were going to talk to him that long, did we? I didn't.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, we were going to ask him a few questions. No, nothing's planned.
Joel rolls in here, and then we're just like, oh, turn it on. Let's go. Go woke, go broke. Okay. Hate when people say e-colors are cruel. Like, excuse me, Becky. Using it is better than my dog catching a rabbit scent and taking off on me. And then Red Hat Penguin says
that was Garrett's
pleasant.
Point.
Says it's more pleasant than the front of a truck. That's funny, right?
That is funny. That is a true point.
Yeah. Jen Johnson says back
from
in
our last
2000,
podcast.
Yeah, my neighbor poisoned my Rottweiler Mastiff mix. He threw up a handful of blue mush. Remember we were talking about this last week?
Mm-hmm.
I brought both to the vet, and it was rat poison. Which, remember, rat poison is, I think, bluish purple.
Yeah.
If you knew that. Not that we do a lot of rat poisoning over here. My dad took care of the neighbor by warning the rest. I'm not 100% it was intentional, but the same neighbor shot my lab with a pellet gun a couple years before. He ended up divorced and moved. Oh, this is kind of interesting, huh? And then this person said, wait, did Eric call us pod people? Wouldn't I call them pod?
Yeah.
Of course I would call
maybe
them
there's some hidden meaning in that. Like from some movie of like,
maybe party people,
like,
maybe? I don't know.
No, like Cocoon or something.
Yeah.
Cocoon. What a terrible movie that was.
I
was a kid and I watched Cocoon with these old people. Movie, and I was like, why is this movie so big? It's so weird.
Yeah, this is a weird one. So Larag, this was funny. For your dog training grads, they're talking about the Beckman coaching program that you pitched earlier. You should give them a certificate so they can put all the important letters after their name. I suggest DTSAN. Do this shit at night, which is your joke from last week. I
saw that.
That is funny.
Okay, can I talk to you about something?
Can I finish it, or do you want to keep going?
Finish it.
Okay. I was just thinking, if someone wants to feed a whole animal reptile store. Okay, yeah, go ahead. That was the DTSAN stuff was hilarious.
I saw that comment. You explained it well. If we do if we do the thing, but if we do letters after the name, what if, I'm serious about this. What if we do like those letters or some like these letters are nonsense. The TLAN or something. I'm a Beckman certified TL. These letters are not like, we just make it a full joke that we're going to give you letters and these mean nothing. Just like the letters that many dog trainers get at these things. And those letters are,
it would be funny if it was like great orientation and it like spelled out like goof or something like that.
Yeah. But then it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm honestly thinking about doing letters that are a joke because letters after your name are a freaking joke. Think of the best dog trainers in the world. Where are their letters after their name? Where are they? You've seen them on YouTube. Who of those great trainers has letters? Does Cesar Milano have letters after his name? Does Joel Beckman have letters after his name? Does Garret Wing has letters after his name? Why is that?
Daddy? No.
Why is that? I wonder.
So
I'll tell you.
Can I argue with you on this for a second?
Sure.
So let's say
or we do real letters because the people want it.
BCP,
listen, the people might want it.
Beckman coaching program.
I get it. Yes. Maybe we do.
Now,
maybe that's what they want.
We have talked.
I would argue.
Can I talk about the belt thing or no?
Please.
So the belt thing, right?
This is the coaching program.
Yeah. So the idea is that there's a belt system similar to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt system where you have like a white, blue, purple, brown, black.
No one can steal this, by the way. This officially is ours.
Yeah.
If any other schools out there start to do belt system, it was today that this got talked about. It's never been talked about.
Talked about it for a year. So yeah,
but
it's definitely ours. But but now we talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
So the thing is that there obviously could be a part of the Beckman coaching program, but if you're a blue belt, right? If you put the work in to be a blue belt, that's one thing. You're a black belt. To me, the numbers to push back, like the numbers actually matter. Like if you stick with the program and get a black belt in the Beckman coaching program, that's a freaking big deal.
Yeah.
Like I would
It's
say
a giant deal.
Get them over here. They're
ready.
They're next generation.
They're right. I don't want to be cocky.
Why not?
They're like
You're
top.
Oh, never mind.
They're like top 10 in the country at that point. Like name 10 great dog trainers that we know of. You're telling me a black belt in the Beckman system that they've actually achieved that. They've got the video proof on social media of showing that aggressive dog and them doing it. How many trainers are actually doing that in a video? Now, I'm not saying there's not trainers out there in the world that are doing it. I can only talk about what I see, or what I walk down the street. If I see it, I'll bring it up. If you're a black belt in the Beckman system, of which we probably are going to do this belt system, we might call it the black collar system. Might sort of go dog.
How dare you mess that up?
It's
black
it's a thing.
Pretty cool though.
I mean, it's a dog thing, right? And dog people like the dog sort of theme to things. So black collar, blue collar, purple collar.
So they could
send them a collar.
They could put that collar on their dog, on their helper dog,
or they could put it on the wall
on their helper dog.
But it's a collar. Do
we need to step our game up with the background? You see, that guy's got a snazzy background.
Yeah. Huh? Well, we're the only ones doing, us and More Plates, More Dates.
Yeah. So public service announcement. Okay.
Yes. Then I have one thing.
Okay. Well, why don't you say your thing?
Okay. I just glanced over at this. One of these dog deaths.
I saw you reading that.
Bro, the dog. So this dog, Hanover. Where's Hanover?
I think it's in Massachusetts.
Okay. Right? Hanover, Massachusetts people. Let's talk for a second. The dog owner's sister saw a lifeless body lying on the floor through the apartment window. Firefighters broke into the apartment and found 2 victims covered in blood. The dog named Chico was taken to a shelter. Nearly 300,000 people signed the online petition demanding that the dog be rescued, that it to be given a chance for re-socialization, and free Chico banners were waved in front of the veterinary office in Hanover. The case was also made exclusive by the fact that the dog was already known to be known to the responsive authorities. Neighbors had already complained. 300,000 people after the dog killed 2 people were chanting free Chico. Hey, Hanover, get your priorities in line, Hanover. How about all the New England area? Because there's not 300,000 people in Hanover.
Unfortunately, there's Hanover, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts.
Can we figure this out?
I can figure it out right now.
Because they need to be freaking they need to be
Hanover,
called
Germany?
out.
Oh, it's Hanover, Germany.
No, these are all American deaths.
No, I moved it.
I
moved it on you.
Am I super surprised that in Europe? No, this does not surprise me in any freaking way, dude.
It is Europe.
Oh yeah.
How much funnier is that?
How many times have I told you that animal rights movement? That's Europe. Hey, Germany, how about you worry about your power being on during freaking war in Europe and less about freeing Chico? How about you worry about your heat still
I don't know about
through.
any of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
What's
Europe like
right
is there's a war there.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
right.
Well, Germany's kind of Eastern Europe. Yeah, here's my problem with Europe. I have many problems with Europe. If you
but we love our German subscribers,
except the 300,000 who have the dog killed 2 people, bro. How about you take the dog in to these 3?
Yeah.
No, I would walk down and go, okay, who wants the dog?
Yeah,
hey, killed 2 people. Here, you take him.
Yeah, free Chico.
So did I go off enough on freaking Hanover, Germany,
Deutschland?
Yeah, dude, you guys got to get priorities straight.
Okay, so
we have a ton of German people watch this.
Last week we had Molly on, and I said, because I can see the future, I said, hey, don't read the comments. There's going to be some haters that are going to hate on, and then you're like, why would somebody hate on Molly? She's bringing this information for free. She's a member of the pod.
We found one.
Sure enough, Star comes on and says, I can't take this seriously without getting a better authority on the subject. Someone who has just done some research is not an expert. It's her opinion, but I don't consider this educating the masses. Lots of good stuff on this account, but this isn't very responsible.
All right.
So speaking of the letters thing, I think we ran into someone who would like the letters behind their name, right?
That's the same type of person. Yeah, I didn't think Molly would get a single bad one.
I can't take
She
this
got
seriously without getting a better authority. I mean,
Everyone's
what is the authority? I mean, she's been doing, 3-4 years of just straight, like, doing nothing but studying
she
dog
was
food.
stuck in her house during COVID and just decided to do all her work. But no, a veterinarian who went to school, they know way more than her. No, they don't.
Yeah, the problem, like I
don't.
mentioned with the podcast with Molly, is that you run into people that do stuff for a profession, but they don't care. So then they don't learn about it. Whereas like even like within banking and stuff, like I was like all about it. So I mean, I was like reading every article. Like, there's people that you talk to that are in a certain field and like they don't know anything. And
Isn't
then
that funny?
I also was watching this guy. His name's Alex Hormozy. I think I was telling you about him, and he was talking about how he's like, people aren't as good at stuff as they think they are, and he's like, they actually don't. He's like, the things that they think they're actually good at, he's like, that like their profession, he's like, they're not even good at that. Like when you really break down what they do, like you're like, you could do a lot of jobs where you actually don't do much.
Yeah.
They think they're good, but they're not. And that's exactly, I think, the situation. So I think Molly is fantastic.
Everyone thought she's
people
fantastic,
wanted her on again.
except for one person.
Yeah.
But you got to take heat. And the minute a client or a commenter or a guest on the podcast gets more heat than me, that will be a moment, because nobody gets more heat than me. I've got to take more than anyone else involved in this channel.
Yeah, you are the
lightning rod.
Yeah, as you should be, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm getting paid the big bucks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
bring it on. I love it.
So if there's a black belt system, you would be the coral belt. You'd be the coral belt.
There's such a thing.
Yeah.
No, I'd be the guy running the whole program. Like I'd be like the original Gracie.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know there was a coral belt.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to people as we head out. Look at this. This is epic.
Coral's is green.
No, coral's in stripe, like coral, like a coral. What do you call it? Like a coral snake, I think. See this right here?
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, like a coral snake.
And then there's also a red belt.
So and how many people in the world have them?
So look at that.
Like 100.
That's Elio Gracie. He was like more or less the founder. Red belt. He was like 9th degree or something like that.
At what age would he have to be for me to beat him at jiu-jitsu?
For you to beat him?
At what age? If he's like 99, could I beat him?
As long as he's alive, you couldn't beat him. No, like he was when his 90s, he was still rolling.
Yeah.
He was still training. So these guys, though, there's a rule which I like about this jiu-jitsu thing is you have to be at you can't get it before you're 65. Yeah. And what was cool is Hicks and Gracie, they actually gave him the belt early because he was like the master.
Yeah.
Like he was the dude. And he was like, but I can't because I'm not.
Oh, and he
I'm
turned
not 65.
it down.
He just took it and threw it in a drawer.
Yeah.
But that's him, though. That's how it is. But anyways, so we're going to get you one of these fancy collars like this.
Yeah.
This or this. And then you're going to be like the grand poobah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm curious if they want the letters after the name. We could do it.
The belt system is awesome.
Or the belt or both.
The belt is awesome, though.
It's they're the collar.
And then you could also, I like the belt system, too, because then you can know like how long and how.
Yeah. We're doing the belt system.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
The belt.
No, we've talked about it for years. Or it's collars.
Do I get a belt?
Yeah, it's like an honorary belt.
I want a cool belt.
Is there you haven't achieved it would be honorary. Like Michelle Obama is like a professor at Harvard or something.
I want a coral belt.
We're going to give it to you
media.
because you've done stuff. Oh, well, that's only part of the belt system.
What the hell?
That's only part of the school.
What do I get a belt?
You want to be like, you wanted to be on the advisory board in like podcast number 10 of like being in charge of the laws when we're regulating dog trainers. You thought you wanted to be on that. I had to say no.
I'm a black belt.
In what?
In Beckman training.
But you know I'm a dog.
So what?
See, that matters. That matters. You are a good dog trainer, though.
I'm integrated.
You actually are a good dog trainer. I've seen you.
I have
told
made
me stories.
I've made some
Headway.
thumbnails
Oh, well, you know
for
that.
some of the best training videos on the planet.
But this is dog training and social media
and business.
and business.
I'm a black belt in business.
And aggression.
Am I a black belt in business?
Yes.
I black belt in strategy.
Yes.
Black belt in YouTube.
Brown
belt in YouTube.
I mean, you win one channel.
I was listening to this thing. It's like Think Media podcast or whatever.
I think you're a black belt in business.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment. These guys, I was listening to like this Think Media channel, which is like a YouTube, tips and tricks and type of stuff like that. And then like Alex Hormozy, some of these guys. And I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, I've listened to more of this stuff like in a month than Joel's listened to in his entire life.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's what makes it work good, right?
Yeah, you're listening though. Hey, we're done. We got to be done.
End of the show right there.
That was like the weakest.
With a little explosion.
Last
sound
week you had
end.
a joke, which was good.
Oh, the Bofides
Yeah.
joke. Oh wait, can you just tell them your reaction when I dropped that joke?
Oh yeah, we cut it off, which was not the best move. We laughed so hard at that joke.
We were out the door still laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, that was a funny. Watch last week's podcast, and at the end you'll hear it. It's a good joke.
It's about a Greek
actually.
philosopher.
I was like,
then
we cut it off.
Greek philosopher named Bofides.
Oh, you can tell it again?
No, I just want them to know that it was about a Greek philosopher.
Google it.
Named Bofides.
Peace. Love you guys.
Yeah. Bofa.